Hello, and welcome back to another Pen Talk. Thank you very much for tuning in and joining me in my exploration of the wide world of pens. And you see three nibs in front of you, and you say why, and I'll say because a viewer asked about getting replacement nibs for Asvine pens, and I kind of remember that they were fairly easily to obtain. I think the viewer was in UK, so their buying is going to be different than mine, but I saw these on eBay, and I haven't bought anything from eBay since the tariff thing has kicked in. So here's this listing. There's a lot of varieties of nib colors you can get on this listing. You got the black, you got the gold, you got the silver, and you got these multicolored ones, which I just happen to really like. And of course I got an extra fine, and medium, because I can enjoy the different tipping on these nibs. So as I get closer, I have to make the angle of the lens, open it up, and it'll focus much closer. Hopefully you can appreciate the look of these nibs. And yes, that is extra fine, and medium. And they're labeled on the nib. Asvine does a great job at that. So these are nibs that go into piston fill and vac fill pens because of the way the end of the nib assembly is. Not made for converters, but Asvine doesn't make many converter pens. What pens am I going to put these nibs into to show you at least one writing example? As I said, this is my first eBay order in a long time. Here's the last one. And I was amazed that it was delivered by Uni, last mile delivery company in the United States that has been delivering to other addresses other than my house. But this one arrived very quickly and showed up on my front porch. Great. Uni now knows how to deliver to me, and now that I order a lot less, I don't get the benefits of that. So I thought it would look good to put one of these colored nibs into my amber P30, but when I unscrewed the nib assembly, I got a surprise. As you can see, the P20 has a different end to it, different threading. It's about the same length, but the nibs that I got, these nice rainbow nibs, have a much different end to it. Even though these go in some of the P models, P80, etc., P36, not the P30. There are other nibs, here they are, that are meant to go into the P30 and other piston filling pens, but no colored nibs there. So we have a little bit of a quandary. Can I screw this into the P20? It'll screw in, it doesn't feel good. It may work, but it's not the best fit. I'm surprised because I didn't realize there were two nib assemblies which Asvine uses for different models. Doesn't make any sense to me. Maybe they changed nib collar assemblies. Maybe they felt this was a better design. It has a larger O-ring at the end, which I thought was probably good for the piston shutoff valve, but the piston shutoff valve works at the top of the section. It doesn't impact the nib assembly. But as you can see, the way the threading is, the nib assembly would fit differently in the section. It's just a quandary, something I think about. Now let's explore how I addressed it. So the listings for these Asvine replacement nibs talk about the P50 has that I call different nib assembly. So if we unscrew the nib assembly from the P50, we'll see it is the same as that big O-ring there at the end. And this is a piston filler, just like the P20, but different nib assembly. I still ask the question of why. So here's the fine multicolored nib, and I put some silicone grease there on those threads, and we'll see it fits perfectly into the P50. Don't know whether I like the look or not, but it works. This was the pen that I originally had thought about putting one of the multicolored nibs into. So in order to do that, we took the nib and feed out of the collar that was in the P20, and then we also pulled the multicolored nib and feed out of the collar of the one I got. As we can see, the feeds are identical, which is what we would have expected. So let's assemble this colored nib and the P20 nib assembly, get it into the amber pen. Yeah, I'm a little bit clumsy today. And see how it writes. Hold on. I like the little things that Asvine has done in these designs. So the nib fits nice on this feed. It kind of stops right there, and it's lined up very well. If we look inside of this collar, we'll see that flat spot, which corresponds to the flat spot on the feed. So it really just slides in one way, easily slides in all the way. And I like the feed right near the end, makes the nib wetter. So let's put this into the P20. Need to make certain I put an O-ring there at the end. It probably fell out. It's an easy replacement because you can use one of those O-rings from the Pen BBS parts kit. It fits perfectly. So you may ask, Chris, where have you seen the multicolored nibs from Asvine before? And obviously the Rainbow V200, which is a great pen. I really enjoy it. But let's compare these two nibs. Yes, they are similar. Really nice coloring. And we get to see a difference in the tipping material between an extra fine and a medium. I think Asvine does a good job at making their nibs, or whoever makes them. And let's see how that P20 now will write. So I don't have enough pens with this ink, so it's going into the amber P20. Yeah, I think it'll be a good match. So, snip is okay. You know, I'm not an extra fine lover, but it does lay down a good patch of ink. And yes, there's a few skips here because the nib needs a lot of writing. It needs to be broken in. And I haven't done anything to break it in, so I'm not concerned about that. Over time, I think this nib will be a fine, extra fine writer. And this Birmingham Pen Company Interstellar Bronze is a good color for this pen. So I did my usual smoothing on the nail board, 3 levels, a little flossing, And the nib is slightly better, but I still say that it just needs to be broken in, and that may take many pages of writing to do. But it has potential. It certainly has stayed wet, and I like this bronze ink in the pen. So this video was an experiment prompted by a viewer asking about getting some spare nibs so they could swap into their Asvine pens, and hopefully this video will help you understand which nibs to get. I got these colored nibs because I just think they're cool, and I don't have many of them, and do I think they're the best writers? You know, to me, if you're going to get a colored nib, be prepared to do some work on it. Maybe it's that coating, maybe it's how they brought the color to that steel nib. But it's a fun experiment, and I enjoy experimenting. I enjoy exploring the amazing, incredible wide world of pens, and this is one example, and nibs are where the rubber meets the road. The nib makes the pen, and Milo's out there barking. He's been very sociable today. So with that, we've reached the conclusion of this video. I hope it found everybody safe, healthy, and happy, enjoying your pens, your inks, your papers, writing some letters, putting that journal entry in, whatever you want to do. Have a sketch, doodle. Boy, that's what pens are for. So use your pens, enjoy your pens, enjoy your day. And with that, we've reached the end of this video, and we will say bye-bye. I don't know what's next. Keep a lookout.